Okay, so day 6, quick check-in, progress. Um, Basically, this session, although I felt in the beginning like I was like, ah, man, I just keep getting it wrong. Like, oh no, my score is going down. But just wait because it wasn't. All right. So basically, the first lap through the whole card deck of 48 cards, I got 35 correct out of 48. So that's now a 72.9% recall. And this is the third or fourth time I've gone through the entire deck. I would say fourth or fifth time by now. Now, I went ahead and I've started working in spaced repetition into my my memorization process immediately. So I haven't even started on. I've run through it a couple times very quickly, but I'm not even doing the production side of the memorization phase. I'm still working on recognition. So I'm looking at my target language and I'm remembering what it means. And meanwhile, I'm pronouncing it and I'm reading it. So anyway, first lap through the whole deck, yes, 35 correct out of 48. Now, the second lap, I went ahead and I ran through the no pile. I got 6 more correct out of that time. Then the third lap, I grabbed the no pile again. I got 4 more of those correct. And then the fourth lap, I got 2 of those correct. So by the end, only one card was not memorized. I was not remembering what it meant. And as far as time, the first lap was 16 minutes and 56 seconds. The second lap took me 10 minutes and 55 seconds. The third lap, just 2 minutes and 42 seconds. And by the fourth lap, well, I didn't even bother timing it. It was that quick. It was 3 cards. So again, out of 48 cards, only one gave me consistent trouble by the end of the session. That's just a reminder. This comes to show you that going back through the no pile immediately and splitting and splitting and splitting, keep going through it 1, 2, even 3 times is a very effective form of manual spaced repetition. So you don't need an app. You just need to loop the cards with a little bit of intention. So the timing was good. I took a little extra time today. I took about 30 minutes running through the cards, but you could just go twice through the pile, and that's 25 ish minutes. So basically, this just comes to show you how powerful it is to double down immediately on the no pile. So, no apps, nothing like that. Just take your little cards, go sit under the trees in the park in the sunshine, something nice like that. Get away from your phone. I also I realized that a couple of the uh, sentences that were confusing me were because they were contextually very similar. This early on in the phase, we want as much context to be able to grab onto with our brain as possible. So one of them, I actually had I wait for the bus and I take the bus. So they were very similar. They were both bus, and the fact of that was making me confuse the I wait and I take. So what I actually did was I went back into ChatGPT and I just said, "Hey, instead of take the bus, I take the bus. Give me something else. Give me some other context with I take." And then it said like I get a message from Maria, which the verb take and get are the same in my target language. And I was like, I want like a physical context, something physical. And then it told me I take the glass from the table. And I was like, boom, perfect. So I immediately changed that card and it helped me. And I was immediately able to recognize it because I had just written it. But it actually went into the yes pile after that. I also changed "You are brave soldiers" because I already have another one that's like "They are great warriors" or something like that. And I changed that to "You're all very funny." So you are all very funny instead of "You are brave soldiers." Um, so again, just kind of paying attention to if you keep getting one wrong, kind of stop and look at it. Like, why am I getting this phrase wrong? Oh, it's because it's very similar to this other phrase, and I'm confusing the two. So, spaced repetition, making sure the phrases are not too similar without like really unique context to grab onto. There was a case in which I was initially putting the card into the no pile, but then I stopped and actually went into ChatGPT and I was like, hey, this verb conjugation, show me this for other people. And it turns out that I had it right because it's the same. It's kind of like he takes, she takes. It was the same thing for like you. And so I was actually getting that correct. So I kind of stopped. I gave myself a moment. I said, wait a minute, maybe I'm actually kind of right about this. And it turns out I was. So doing that, and I also want to go ahead and do a a run through of the no pile loop method, this manual space repetition. So step one, you're doing the full deck lap. You go through your whole flashcard deck, split it into yes and no piles. Step two, grab the no pile, go through that one immediately, and then split that into a new yes pile. So sit it separate so that each time you're looking at how many yeses per lap. And then you're making a no pile again. Step three, go ahead and shuffle the remaining no cards. It's a good idea to shuffle them every time. Run through it again, make a third yes pile for the step three. And then step four, of course, you're grabbing the no pile again. It's going to be very small by this time. Shuffle it real quick and just run through them one last time. It's not going to be that many cards. And then I made a fourth yes pile. And I'm actually tracking how many I'm getting correct, how long it's taking me. I'm timing myself just out of curiosity and for posterity's sake so that I can share that all with you and show you how I'm advancing and how quickly I'm advancing. So the no pile method, the loop is very useful in this case. And it's turning, like I said, at first I thought, man, this is just not a good day. I'm not feeling good. I was kind of even like getting mad. I was like, dang it, I should know this by now. But then running through it again and again and again, I reiterated those problems. I went through them again and turned them into solutions. And by tracking myself, by counting, and then asking ChatGPT, what win percentage I'm getting, I actually found that even though it felt like a bad day, I was actually still getting more right in the first lap, not even counting the repetition laps. So that's how I am immediately using space repetition to add it into my loop method now so that I am reiterating the sticky points, the ones that keep giving me trouble. So even if you just did it two loops, so you do your first one and then you do two more quick loops, it's going to help you a lot. And I'm not to the point yet where technically space repetition is where you will stop going through the ones that you're getting correct all the time. You'll actually avoid going through those and maybe go through them once every 3 days or once a week. I'm not quite at that point yet. I still want to repeat my wins every day because, again, I don't feel like I'm at that phase where things are just rolling off the tongue. But once you get to the second phase of the memorization process and then begin doing your loops and your spaced repetition, then I'll probably at that point say, okay, cool. I can sit aside these cards and initially just go through them once every couple days and then move to like once a week and then get to a phase where like I barely even look at them. And also when I'm making future cards, I will be utilizing these things that I already know in a longer phrase that's more complex. So that way I'm even I won't even technically have to go back through those cards at all because the information will be in the new card. Instead of like, I like to sing, I can go when I make the new card, I can say, I like to sing at karaoke bars on Friday nights. So you could take that simple little I like thing and make it into a more advanced sentence that then has more context and more stuff that you got to memorize. And that's how you're going to keep those basic building blocks of the sentence, and you're going to start turning it into more advanced phrases. Kind of like, I'm going to the store. You can turn it into in the future, I was going to the store, and then all of a sudden I saw my buddy Carl on the way, and we stopped and talked for about 20 minutes. So you see how these little building blocks will build you towards being able to create more realistic, more complex sentences. And that's truly how the brain learns. The child brain learns, memorizes, and utilizes things. You take the little building blocks and you throw them together and you make a sentence. So very quickly, I will be able to string together longer sentences and tell stories. Which, what is a story? It's nothing more than a bunch of little phrases and sentences strung together to make a longer story with more context, more information, more realistic speech patterns. And then of course you can start throwing in those oh wow and like oh my gosh little phrases like that to kind of make it even more human. So that's basically what we're looking at now. And yeah, that's just how immediately adding in spaced repetition pretty quick from the beginning is going to help you out. So the kind of updating my initial thoughts, going through the whole deck once or twice. Okay, great, good job. That took you 30 minutes each time. Just that's it for the day. You're done. But then that third day, that fourth and fifth day, you start splitting it into the piles and you loop it. So that's really what you want to do is immediately, as soon as you can like manage to get through your stack of, let's just call it 50 cards. It's 48 in my case. Real quick, start splitting them off into, all right, these are like almost too easy now, but I'm still going through them daily because I don't feel like they're a permanent part of my brain yet. And you immediately start working in those loops. And if you only have 20 or 30 minutes a day, that's fine. Time yourself with either your phone or even better yet, like a Casio watch or something. Time yourself and to stay off your phone. Use some other method of timing and just run through it. Do as much as you can in your little time that you have allotted. And maybe note down how many you're getting right and how many wrong or not. If you're like, I got too much to worry about, I just want to run through them and do this in a natural method. Well, that's great. In fact, the first language that I'll say, the second language that I learned when I was using my cards, I never was tracking my wins, counting how many cards went into each pile because it really didn't matter to me. I'm just doing that here to show you that I am indeed advancing each time. And just for posterity's sake and truly just to make this as scientific as possible while being natural. So again, yes, that third day, that fourth day, start working in your spaced repetition. Go back through your no pile and make a new yes pile. And then go again and make a new yes pile and go again and make a fourth, a final yes pile. And you're going to have like only one or two cards that were no's. And you're like, wow, I'm really, I'm hammering home the phrases that are giving me difficulty and I am making progress. which is the most important thing. We want to feel like we're actually making progress here, even if it's a little baby progress. Being able to see that you are indeed getting better each day is going to propel you, it's going to excite you, and it's going to keep you focused. And that's it for today. So I'll probably do a little visual run through showing you the card piles that I make just as a separate post, just for that, just to kind of visually show you. And just in case you're like, I don't get it. The yes piles, the no piles, make a new yes pile. What is he talking about? So, anyway, excellent. Thanks for watching. And this is day 6 or 7 now. I don't remember, but we're making progress, and that's what's important, guys. So, thank you. Thank you. Have an excellent day.